Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to CRL for the second round of the season. We are here at Circuit de Catalunya for round 2 at the Spanish Grand Prix. And here, joined with me, is Fandango.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening to you, Indigo. How's things?
Very good, thank you. Payday today and graduated at the same time and commentated, so couldn't get any better.
What a day.
Yeah.
What an absolute day. So a day of celebration. Hopefully we can celebrate in Spain tonight with some top driving in our top tier. Be looking forward to this, actually.
Yeah, you were here last week, were you? So get you up to speed.
No.
Get you up to speed. It was Pease who was leading the Grand Prix. He had good pace, and Rudy was catching him. He took an early pit stop. It was 2 laps older tyres, and he dropped off the pace of Pease. And Pease couldn't extend the 5-second gap as he sped in the pit lane. And it was Bakke Yogurt versus Rudy for the win. And Yogurt spun on the entry towards turn number 3, took too much curb and lost the rear end of the car. And Rudy there took the race victory at the end with, I think it was Jeroen who finished second and Pease in P3 after Yogurt couldn't recover to the podium and he finished in P4. So that was the first race of the season, but we're here in Spain and let's see what the drivers can do. Can Pease recover from the British GP? He only picked up a 5-second time penalty. The pace was great anyway. It was just that one mistake which cost him a lot, and hopefully he doesn't do that again so he can try and get his first win of the season.
Yeah, I unfortunately, well, not actually unfortunately, I covered Tier 2 because there was no comms available, so I ended up doing it on my own on the night. And it was a class race in the end, to be honest, around Silverstone. It was a really good opener in Tier 2, so I'm sure there'll be action-packed as well tonight. Hedgehog back in comms for that. But I have returned to my rightful place alongside yourself.
And we've got Reservoir, the first man on the lap time, or on the his out lap. There's one person on the wet compound tyres, which is Ferg, but just saving the tyres later on the session. I don't think he's got out there on purpose on the wet compound tyres, but hopefully there's no rain tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you qualified well on them, the others are going to be certainly in for a ride of Ferg tonight. But yeah, can't imagine he's. I think he's just having a lap.
Here we go then with Reservoir that started his first flying lap around Barcelona as we make our way then on the long straight, approaching about 315 kilometers an hour. Then let's see his first braking point. His brakes around 70 meters. And you can see they're not taking a lot of curb into turn 1, but takes a lot of curb into turn number 2. They're carrying the speed in 5th gear. Just experimenting with the throttle, using a lot of curb on the entry towards turn 3, then bring it out wide to get a good run up into turn 4. Brake, get the shadow there, as you can see, down into 4th gear, get as close to the curb as possibly can on the entry, then go out wide on the exit and come back in on the right hand side, the 50 metre board, then swing it in, carry the minimum speed, stays in 3rd gear, get on the throttle, use all the exit curb as you possibly can there. And now make our way down into turn number 7. They're very easy to get wrong, especially turn 8 there. You don't want to use the yellow sausage curve there. Now going into turn number 9, carrying a lot of speed there. DRS enabled for the second part of the DRS zone. We make our way down into this braking zone then. And Ferg has retired in the pit lane. That must have been a qualifying ban because he did go on the wet compound tyres, so I think he has got a qualified. He's got qualified by even the race for the first race.
Maybe not then.
Interesting there, because he didn't even race the first race. He was doing his summer events like he did last year. But Reservoir then, coming towards the final corner then, let's see what lap time he can set as he makes his way towards the line. It's going to be a 17.7 for the benchmark.
Just behind him is Bakke Yogurt, and he's just coming over the line as well, and he's going to go fast as the session by nearly a second with a 1:16.8.
A lot of confidence there from Jakob, and AJ's just lost into P2 as well, and to Griff goes in P3 for ILT, Reservoir P4, and the next few cars across the line is a Williams of rotation, goes in, I was up on with Jeroen there, didn't get the best effects coming out of the final corner, but Jeroen is making his way towards the line. It's a 17.4 for Jeroen, and slots it behind Superbug, and Superbug and Jeroen then are teammates, and nice to see Superbug here on his return to CRL.
Nathan and Robbie and Evans all going over the line as well, just following him. They've gone into 2, 3 and 4 on track with a I haven't got the right thing up for the times actually. I've just got where they are away from the leader. Nathan with a 1:16.9. You'll be able to see it on your graphic, not mine.
I think hopefully there's been no contact because there was loads of cars down at turn number 5. There was like 5 cars in turn 5. It did see a bit of carbon fibre in the air, so hopefully no one's hit each other. but I think they've taken the bollards away from them, so hopefully no one sustained any damage or made contact with anybody, and nobody's got a fireplace capability either. But there's a lot of cars at the circle. Look at that mini map.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that in Sector 2 at the moment there is on your... Well, you can see, can't you? There's just loads piled up together that have spread up a little bit now because I think those cars letting others through. But yeah, you're right. There was definitely a lot of cars all on track at the same time in the same part of the track. And all it takes is one to make an error.
Oh, Peas! He's just crashed at turn 8. I think he's lost on the exit at turn 8, and now he's retired from the session. And the AlphaTauri's just gone past him. And the Williams has approached him very shortly. That is Pyro. Hopefully we get... Oh, he's just lost at the exit of that Sasha's curve, the yellow curve. And he's dropped it in the wall, and that's his qualify. Oh, Pyro spawned at the exit of turn 9, and he saves it. Thankfully, it doesn't go into the wall there, but that is lap time ruined.
Wouter just on the final corner now. Is he on a lap? No, he's not. He's just pulling in as well. He's had his as well. So yeah, everyone's obviously only having the one lap and coming back in.
You've got to remember this is short qualified, because I thought it was long qualified, so I was about to say Peas can't take part Q2 and Q3, but there isn't any Q2 and Q3.
Yep. And he set a lap as well, so that will stand. So I believe. I think that stands, so he will stay in fourth if nobody else beats him, but there's still a long time in qualifying yet, and I imagine there will be a few yet. Especially with a few not even setting laps as yet. Knight obviously is one of them. He's out on track at the moment. Is he on a lap at the moment?
Yeah, he is. He's going towards turn 8. You can be very careful to the exit of that because it's very easy to lose the car there, but takes it nicely. It did go purple first sector, but I'm not quite sure if the graphics are right there. But Knight making his way out of turn 9 and approaching turn 10, which was the slow left-hander. But you can see there going into that corner there, upshifting into fourth gear to reduce wheel spin. Nicely done through there as purple middle sector yet again for a relentless Knight. So the lap's looking pretty decent from Knight. Keeps it nice and clean. And let's see what he could do towards the last few parts of this lap. That could be very tricky because the tyres are at their best at this moment in terms of tyre temperature. Very easy to lose the car and slide around in that part of the track. But here he is there, makes his way towards the line. It's going to be at 18.1. Hopefully he can improve on that lap time. It's P15.
Yeah, I think that the purple sectors, I think it's because he hadn't set a lap, so I think he was just saying that it was as fast as for him, maybe. I don't know, the graphic goes a bit strange, doesn't it, but it doesn't always follow the same theme. But obviously Pyro, you can see with a big old time, so he's going to be in the pits and coming out soon. Seb, I think I've just seen spin. No, I haven't. It's Izakush. Izakush as span. He's just at the end of Sector 1. Lost the car, I believe, right in the... Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Is that Kush? So yeah, he'll be coming back around, probably coming in the pits and coming back out. It was the right-hander.
I saw that exit at turn number 5. Steve's coming towards the line. He started P2, I believe, in the last year, and it's P4. So both AlphaTauri's in P3 and P4. So both showing good pace so far in this qualified session, but a long way to go, like you said. Track evolution as well, as tyres will get better. We've got a Red Bull approaching the first corner. I think that's the Griff in the other ILT car, in the other Red Bull, sorry. There he is.
Yeah, AJ's just started too. Yeah, AJ's just started lap 2. He's coming up to turn 1, currently in P8 with a 117.1.
There he is then. I'm not quite sure what happened to the British GP. Oh, he wasn't here at the British GP last year last week because of the internet connection he had. So hopefully it's stable this time. He's improved by 100ths of a second, or of a 10, sorry, on his previous bet last time. He's making his way down into this left-hander here. Very easy to lose the car on traction. Gets a decent exit though, does AJ. Now heading in towards turn number 7 and turn 8 where we saw P's lost it, and Mazepin as well last year, and now making his way towards turn number 9. A lot of people do get to 10 this wrong, especially Pyro. Very easy to lose the car and hit the wall. You're either going on the left side of the track or right side in the wall, depends how lucky you are. 300s up in the middle sector is AJ, but can he find more time in this last sector to try and boost the chances of getting further up the grid? We've got plenty of people on their lap time, as you can see on the left hand side. Nobody on their our lap has reservoir, so everybody then on their flying lap. And we're making our way towards the final few corners. Very easy to lose it here. I don't want to touch that inside curb either. And AJ's there making his way towards the line. What's the lap time is it going to be? A 16.9. He goes P2, so good lap time there for AJ. Nathan goes quickest with a 60.6 then, so raised the bar ahead of Bakayoko, but Bakayoko is out there by a few hundreds up in the middle sector, so he needs to find more time in this last sector to dethrone Nathan as Robbie goes into P3. Here comes Bakayoko then as he makes his way towards the line. It's a 60.6 and he takes back pole by 100. Wow.
Yeah. Quality lap by back here. Really good lap by Nathan as well, putting himself up there. Robbie as well. All three of them setting fast laps. Wouter, of course, comes across the line with a 1:16.7 and also pushes on and improves his lap.
Wow.
Rudy, the Alpha Tauri, goes and sticks it on the top after his victory. Has he won the first two now? Oh, sorry, no, it's the first last race. So, yeah, he's won our first race. 1:16.6. Yeah, that quality, good. Do you think that'll be beat?
Yeah, I think he can be beaten, because look at that. Or three guys, the 16.6s, it's just perilously close between those guys. And whoever makes it the 16.5 is guaranteed to take pole position as getting closer towards the 16.5s. But yeah, it's so interesting between these guys. All these drivers, they're being so close, and I can't wait to see at the end of the qualifying session who will take pole.
I think Izet Kush is going to be a bit disappointed in the qualifying so far. Obviously, we've seen that he's run into trouble, but I'm pretty sure he had a second lap there as well, and he's come into the pits on it. So I don't know if he's backed out and made a mistake. I just missed that when I was on board, but he's came back in, and yeah, currently he's only got that initial lap of the, big numbers. So he'll be eager to get back out. Obviously, there's plenty of time for everyone.
I'm not sure if Pyro's on the pad or wheel, but if he's on the wheel, it's understandable why he's struggling, because he did break his ligaments in his foot, so hopefully he can recover soon.
Did he?
Yeah, get well soon, Pyro. If he is on the wheel, it's understandable why he's struggling, because he's spinning all over the place. That's the second spin on his lap, so that's why Pyro's struggling. He took pole position last season at the Spanish Grand Prix, did Pyro, but it's going the other way this time.
There's no doubt he's a decent driver, so there's obviously something not quite there, but needs to go back to strengthening and rehab, I think, before he takes the wheel on, if that's the case. But still good to see him on track.
I think Aston Martin's just spun. That is Dual coming out of turn number 3. His teammate is on a lap time. That's Reservoir. He's just gone past him on your screen there. He's on a lap time as well. 3/10 down, so I don't think he's on a lap. I think he's just come across the line to finish the lap because he's lower the US. So yeah, Reservoir up into P11.
I think Seeb in the AlphaTauri is just about to come and start his hot lap, and he'll be the next one to do it, I believe.
There he is then, Seeb World Gamer, the man who started P2 last season behind Pyro. Let's see what he could do then, currently with a 17.8. He improves by 2/10 to find himself in P5, P4. But here he is then, headed into turn number 1 then. Let's see how he takes the first corner. You saw Locker on the entry for turn 2. Nicely done through there. Coming into turn number 3. And you can see lifting off the throttle to make sure he don't spin the car up. I don't think he's flat out anymore at third corner in qualifying session. But here we go in turn number 4, breaking under the shadow, under the bridge, 300s down in the first sector. As he gets back on the throttle, then as we make our way down into turn number 4, 50-metre board. Hits the apex, probably a bit too much for the car's liking there, but still gets away with it. And now we're making our way towards turn 6 and turn 7 there. Very easy to lose the car through here, but gets it nicely done and nicely planted as well. Coming into this fast right-hander of turn number 9, gets and sticks with it as well. And now making our way towards turn number 10. Let's see how much time he's found. He's found 300ths of a second, has C4 Gamer. So can he find any more on his second lap on the final sector? So let's see then. Wide entry towards there, going into turn number 14, breaking the black box, hit the curb on the inside, slow it down for these final 2 corners because it's very easy to lose the back end of the car here, and make sure you don't hit that yellow curb as well. And now make our way towards the last corner. Let's see what lap time is going to be. It's going to be a 16.8, and he goes into P6. It finds the time by a 10th to that final sector, so we did find a lot of time in that last sector.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good lap. I think he'll be relatively impressed with that. Seeb, that's two. Well, the AlphaTauri is actually doing really well in Tier 1 by the looks there. 1st and 7th is not bad at all. And don't forget the Alfa Romeos as well.
Yeah, I think Giroux just crossed the line to go up to P5 in the Alfa Romeo, just ahead of his teammate Super Mug, represented ILT. Yep. I think Nathan's got 4 laps. Should go aboard with him.
Yeah, I'm just sat with Izet Kush again. I'm just desperate for him to stick a lap in. He's just coming around the final few corners. So yeah, jump on board with Nathan, and I'll keep you updated.
He's just invalidated as Izet Kush. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, it is an invalidation again. He comes jumping into the pits again. Oh, he's going to be disappointed with this. But I think he's still got time, hasn't he? I can't see the timer at the moment because of the yellow flag.
5 minutes left to go in the session, but Nathan is 1/10 up in his middle set, so that 1/10 is crucial. Can get him into the 16.5s or 16.4, depending on how much time he can find this last sector. Got to keep it nice and tidy, make sure the pressure doesn't get to him. Making our way through the final few corners now, takes it very nicely, upshifting to 4th gear. That was very nice there from CRO Nathan. Can he take all away from Rudy as he makes his way towards the line? Yes, he can with a 16.5. Wow.
Yeah, kept the pace. Sometimes when you get ahead early in the lap like he did there, it gets a little bit nervous to sort of keep that pace. But yeah, he's kept his nerve and he's kept it on P1, or put himself on P1, which is excellent. Takes it away from Rudy, but it seems to be a common theme, these top sort of 5 now.
Nathan, Rudy, Baki, Yogurt, Alta, Jeroen. So close between those guys.
Yeah, rotations come back into the pits. Yeah, sorry, he's done a lap as well. So they'll all have time to get themselves prepared and come out basically for their final go. It's quite easy to get. I think you can easy enough get all 4 goes if you want. All 4 efforts in the short qualifying. If you're quick enough, I think you can get 4 goes in, but I'm not sure. But everyone's at least had 3.
Yeah, for sure. You can get 3, but if you want the 4th, you can get 4. Depending if you want to save a set of soft compound tyres, if there is a late safety car, because that can benefit you massively. Because you only get 1 set of mediums and 1 set of hards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is that. And if you're happy enough with your lap, then yeah, no need to do. Pyro coming around the final few corners as well now, and he's also going to be coming into the pits. So really, just all eyes on probably AJ, who's just on his out lap at the moment, and Rudy.
We've got a Superbug on his lap in his coming at the end of the first sector. He's just improved by a few hundred, so let's see if he could continue with this form as he makes his way towards the right-hander. I've raced with Superbug before. He's quite quick and he's also in IRT as well, so let's see what he can do his debut for CRO, because he was participating in the Code Cup and he's 1.5 tenths up in this middle sector, so can he keep it up as he makes his way towards this third sector as well. Now making our way into the right-hander, very easy to spin like Hungary at turn number 6, now making our way down at turn 14, hits, got a bit too wide there, but stays on the track. You can see the understeer kicking in for Superbug, and now making his way through the final few corners. That's taking very nicely there from Superbug, but he did lose a bit of time. Let's see what that time is.
Oh wow, that little wobble under braking was just all it took for him to go on second as opposed to first. That's a great lap by Superbug.
It is, and look at that. Every single driver out of the circuit except Nathan, who's retired. But this is going to be super interesting towards the end of qualifying then. Who will take pole position? You can see all the cars lined up in the middle set. I believe Rudy is Rudy's the next. I think AJ is the next one, like you said. So AJ will go ball with him to see what he does in this first sector.
Yeah, it's attack all over the track now. There's cars all over the place, going to be busy.
We're all in the final section, as you can see. AJ's improved by a 10th in that first set. He's got the track nice to himself. There is a Red Bull ahead, but hopefully he gets out of the way before he approaches him. So let's see what AJ can do
coming over the line. No.
Yeah, I don't think his leg's helping him whatsoever, but he's doing his best job to try and... AJ! He almost lost it, same as Pease. And that's his lap time ruin then. Went a bit too hot there, and he lost the rear end of the car. But thankfully he hasn't smashed it up. He's got 35 seconds left to go in this session, so depending how those tyres are, can he continue? He's got plenty of fuel left on board. As you can see, the fuel light is not on, but we'll see then if he can get another lap time on the board. But Rudy then coming towards the middle sector, what's he going to be? Always 400s down in this middle sector, but can he find a time to gain back up to try and take pole position away from CRO Nathan? Nathan is currently on pole position, and let's see then if Rudy can try and take it away from him. We've got Bake Yoga on the lap, we've got Walter, Jeroen, Evans, Steve, Robbie, and pretty much everybody on the lap except Superbug and Nathan. But here comes Rudy then towards the final corner. Can he take pole position away? Can he keep it nice and clean? Let's see then, is he crossed the line now? 16.7, did lose time in the final sector there. So Bakayoga, all eyes on him. 200 down in that middle sector. We've got a bit of traffic ahead of us. That could be, that is the Haas of Isa Kush.
There's also Wouter that was on board with, who's set a purple second sector.
Bakayoga messed it. That's it for Yogurt. He cut the corner and his qualifiers done. Wouter then, as you mentioned, we'll keep an eye on him as he makes his way towards the final corner. Can he take pole away? It's going to be a 16.6 and he stays in P5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeroen finished. Yeah, Jeroen's pulled the side. Evans, as you say, he has invalidated his lap. He can't do any more. Siebes past the line. Jeroen, where else are we going? Evans spins on the last corner. That didn't matter though, because I think he was already
invalidated.
Done, yeah.
Well, Nathan on pole. Wow. I'm finally glad to say that after all this time. Nice to see him on pole position. And we've got Superbug on his debut for Tier 1 in P2 ahead of Rudy. So Dutch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. 5 Dutches behind Nathan.
There you go, AJ passes the line for the final car on track. Ewan and Evans in the pits, so that is definitely it. As you say, Nathan, 116.5's a great effort. Really, really good effort when he's put that down. It was going to always take a huge lap out of the cars out there. And as you can see, when they pushed that little bit harder, there was quite a few people that had wobbles and didn't quite manage to keep the whole lap together and didn't beat him.
And Nathan on his, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. It's an IRT 1-2 as well, as Superbug and Nathan are in IRT. So, yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Steban, our team leader for IRT, currently P1 and P2. So, glad to see that. Rudy in P3 represented himself. Not going to go into detail with that one. Bakke Yoga in P4 ahead of Walter, Sieb in P6, Giroud in P7, Isa Kush in P8, Evans in P9, Robbie in P10 ahead of Resify AJ Pease. Pease in P13 despite getting one lap in, still in P13, only 4 tenths away, so not too bad despite having one lap only. Yeah,
not bad at all, is it, from Pease? He's only had the one go, and it was when the tire, the track was probably its coolest of the session, albeit that it was a nice sunny qualifying. I haven't seen the actual race yet. Do we know the weather for the race?
Hopefully it should be dry, but I think every time I've been commented to the Spanish Grand Prix or race day, it's always been dry, so hopefully it can remain the same.
Tier 3 Spain wasn't. We had a full wet race start to finish. Yeah, there we go. It looks like the weather's held out, and it's a nice day in Spain. Lovely.
Here we go then for the 33 lap race around Barcelona. I think the strategy is hard to mediums or mediums to hard, depending where you started, but we'll see then.
I noticed the other night when I was racing around here that it's an extremely difficult place to pass at times. Certainly when you get into a little quite a fast moving train, there's some really tight corners that you couldn't. It's very difficult to be off the racing line and still be quick enough to maintain, alongside someone who is on the racing line at times. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think in T1 as well, with the standard being so high, we'll see some pretty decent overtakes, I would imagine. Some brave moves as well.
I'm not sure if there's a formation lap. I don't think there was. I can't remember,
there will be.
There is.
Yeah,
there will be. Some leagues don't want it.
There should be, unless it's a mistake. But yeah, there certainly should be a formation lap every time.
Yeah, I know some leagues don't run it, but here we go. Then the formation lap is underway. So I'm not quite sure what this formation glitch is. I'm not quite sure why other leagues don't run it. I don't know what it is, but we've got 3 people on the medium compound tyres. One of them is Bakke Yoga, Evans and Pyro down in P19 then. So Bakke Yoga in P4 looking to make the use of them, trying to take the lead of the Grand Prix and try and pull away as much as he can before he goes on the hard compound tyres. Same with Evans then, but Bakke Yoga looking for redemption after possibly winning the Grand Prix, or potentially winning the Grand Prix at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Unfortunately, he messed up on his own by taking too much of the curb at turn 3, trying to get a wider entrance to try and get Rudy on the Wellington straight. So he's looking for redemption. Rudy looking for a second victory in a row, and Pease is looking for a combat drive after dominating the British Grand Prix, but unfortunately making one little mistake, which was speeding the pit lane and cost him massively with a 5-second time penalty. So let's see what happens then.
I personally, someone's just spun off there. Looked like the Alfa Romeo's just one flying off at the side of the track. Just in obviously trying to warm the tyres up. What I would say is I actually would favour the mediums first. In this, I think Yoghurt's probably got it. I'll be interested to see how Yoghurt does, because I think the mediums in the first place, when everyone's jockeying for position, and while the tyres are cold, you can actually gain quite a few positions early doors in the race when it might be more difficult later on. The other thing is that around here, if there is any safety cars, let's say, and you have to quickly switch to mediums, you're going to be struggling to get the rest of the race in with your mediums, depending on when it is, of course. So hards have that little bit of an advantage as well, that you can go longer with them and still maintain your pace going around the track. So I know that it's better to finish the race on a faster tyre, I get that, but around here, I'm not so sure if that is actually better or not, but we'll soon see. We'll soon see. What would you do? Did you go hard first?
Probably
finish quick.
Probably, yeah, probably start the hard compound tyres. I know I've seen from all races that the hard, without a safety car, hards to mediums is a quicker way, but we'll see if the mediums to hards is the quickest way here. I'm not quite sure. It can vary, but there's definitely no soft compound tyres at any track.
Yeah. Unless there's a few left. So there's only Knight that looks like he's not been able to set his car properly, and he's going to be a little bit slower off the line. Unfortunate for him.
2, 3, 4, 5 lights then, and we're going to be underway for round 2 of the Spanish Grand Prix. AJ picks up a drive-through penalty. Giroud has overtaken, but look at Superman. He's fallen down.
Oh no! That is absolute hell on, right in the middle of the straight. I think, is this a black flag? Is it that bad? How many people's just been taken out there? Resify, Evans, all gone. Supermug gone. Backy Yogurt gone. AJ right at the back of the field. He's dropped 3 spots as well. Yogurt dropped all the way down the bottom. Someone, I think, got up to... yeah, Jerome's gone. I think someone... Oh, my God, AJ's now got a penalty as well. Someone got up to speed, but just as they got into a higher gear, I didn't quite see who it was. It was 2, 3 ahead of me. Whoever's in maybe 4th place, 3rd place. Someone lost the front of the car, the back end of the car. The car went sort of sideways, hit the car beside it. I believe that's what I saw. And then all of a sudden there was just this scatter effect as cars were trying to dive around and get out of the way, and of course hit each other in the process. So this is unbelievable scenes right at the start of the Tier 1 race. What is going to go down? I don't know if there's going to be, if it's so bad that it's a black flag. There's 5 cars that have all been involved in that. Yogurt, DeWill, Evans, Supermug and Resify and Euron out of the race. I mean... Unbelievable
scene. I can't tell you what happened because I had the worst camera angle you could possibly imagine, so I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything.
Well, I'm blown away that there's not a safety car. How there's not a safety car after that is incredible, because there was just things everywhere. I don't know what's going to happen, whether or not there's going to be quite a few cars that come round in the pits. Hopefully they drive the rest of the race, but strictly speaking, we have said before, I'm pretty sure that we did black flag a race before when it was 5 or more drivers, but I'm not sure on the not sure on the rules this season if that's changed or not. But of course we've got 2 of the admins in here, and the other one in the head admin in DC's racing, isn't he? So I wouldn't even know who to ask that question to, but we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going as far as we're concerned. We have got a race ahead of us.
That's a nice move for rotation. He was fighting to Griff from turn 1 all the way down to turn 5. So nice move around the outside and moves himself up into P9. But P is from P... Where did he start? Outside the top 10, he's a P5 now. That's gone crazy. Yeah, 13th place. Pyro from P9 to P7. So a lot of people are benefiting from that crash down a turn on the start. Crazy what's happened at the start.
That is one hell of a start. Supermug somehow 16 places dropped down to 18th and really chasing the pack up again. It was an awful start, absolutely awful start. I don't know what on earth what happened. It'll also obviously come out in time, but Nathan ahead of the field sets 2 fastest laps before Pyro does, and Pyro's absolutely flying, by the way.
As you expect on those medium compound tyres, making up a lot of ground. It's putting pressure on Isa Kush then as we head down into turn 1 right to the back of the Hassman's gearbox, but DRS is enabled then. Look, you see P's under pressure from Isa Kush as well, so it looks like P's is struggling just a little bit there coming out the exit. Resify, I think he's gone for another spin down in P19 at turn 8, but he's managed to get himself going again. And you can see there Pyro right at the back getting extra grip from those medium compound tyres. He's going to go down the inside. Yes, he is then, as we make our way down into turn 6, going side by side with the Hass there. Better contact made, but he should have a better exit on those mediums as we make our way then down into turn 8. And Pyro should have the inside line for this car. You don't go side by side through here, which they are going to do, but Pyro eventually squeezes through to take P6.
There was a little bit of contact on the way through there by Pyro, but he's got the job done. Hopefully that didn't affect his wing at all. I imagine it didn't, but certainly shown what I was saying in the first place, actually, about the mediums just having that little bit more on the first few laps and making a difference.
and especially when you're all the way down at the bottom, you've got nothing to lose, so might as well take those medium compound tyres because everybody else is taking the hards. But Versify, unfortunately, has retired.
Gone.
Chivuna's retired as well.
Yeah, well, it says DNF for Reservoir. I don't know why they would say that for him and Euro not. I don't know what that was about. But yeah,
both Alphas started P18 and P20. That's loads of points being tossed away from those two.
Horrible day so far for them, and yet they were looking so good in qualifying. They were right up there, weren't they? 4th and 5th at one point or something, before there was a few others scattered around. I think I mentioned the Alpha Tauris as well, in Rudy and Steve doing a decent job in qualifying also.
I'm desperate for a POV from the start of the Grand Prix because I saw absolutely nothing at that start. I didn't see any drivers go out because the worst camera got
I was on board with whoever was maybe like P7. I sort of dropped back just to see what would be going on in front of me, but I didn't. All I saw was 1 minute people going all straight in sort of uniformed order, and the next minute someone was sideways, and I don't know if they did that while they were accelerating up to speed and just got up to the up the gears a bit too fast before they had full grip of the car, grip of the wheels, but I honestly don't know. Either that or there was contact somewhere higher up, and two cars went sideways. But there was just a scatter effect after that, and a few people got collected up in it, which is really unfortunate. Well, it's been race destroying, in fact, hasn't it? For some.
Jivun Vizza, currently out of the Spanish Grand Prix, the defending CRO champion from last season, finds himself out 5 seconds after the lights go out, literally.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan's also set a fastest lap, something like three or four, was it 3 of the first 4 laps or something like that, so he's doing really well. Still 6/10 ahead though, so Rudy's not giving him much space. Who was that? That was Pyro. Just lost it a little bit coming up from turn 3. He just went out wide after the exit. He's doing it a little bit here as well.
I did notice
he's keeping it together though.
Did notice he qualified, he kept losing the car, so he's struggling evidently for Pyro.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just got a bit more straight line speed set up, and he's just struggling a little bit through the corners. He's just wobbled again, Pyro, and is that Christian's going to have an opportunity to go by him? Is he? He's right behind him now, but he keeps flicking the back of that car up, Pyro, and he is losing a little bit of time as a result, and you're only going to get away with that so many times before you can't catch it, so he just needs to go steady and not push too hard too soon. There's a long race to go. We're only 5 laps in of 33, bear in mind. You don't need to push too hard too soon. As I say, it's pretty difficult in places as well to overtake, so if you're clever in certain parts of the track and know when to actually drop it and really go for it, you can manage the race a little bit better.
And we've got a spin. Is that rotation?
We have.
Final corner.
It was rotation. Yeah, it was rotation, unfortunately, and he's dropped down. Ferg, Panda and Knight all going past him. He's just joined up and tucked himself behind Knight, but yeah, he's dropped to P14.
And you can see there, Rudy's still putting pressure on Nathan ahead. You can see both of them use. In fact, Nathan's got more ERS in comparison to Rudy then, so it looks like Nathan's better on the ERS situation in comparison to the Alpha behind. We've got Walter in P3, we've got Robbie in P4, and P's in P5. From P13 to P5, Peter's made up and looking for redemption here at the Spanish Grand Prix.
I have been on board with Panda as well, and just seen him allow a little bit of too much space. Well, he didn't actually allow too much space at all for Ferg. Ferg managed to get by him just before the first turn on the opening straight. But yeah, he gets by. He's going pretty well. Ferg as well. 5 laps in.
I think previous lap Panda did get past Ferg, but I think Ferg retook that position because Panda, Knight and Ferg were all close together down at turn number 1. Then I think Ferg managed to stay ahead of them. Bakayoko as well overtook Ferg, and he's currently hunting to grift down. Hopefully Bakayoko did get caught up in that start of the Grand Prix, but hopefully it's good for wind damage. He's made himself back up into 10th place after losing a lot of ground at the start. But on to lap 7 then, you can see there Nathan under pressure from Rudy. It's so difficult to get yourself out of the DRS train. And you can see there Rudy just putting pressure, just biding his time is Rudy before the pit stops come to happen. He did take the undercut earlier on at the British GP. It did cost him a little bit towards the end when the tyres started to drop away. But what will he do this time? Will he do the undercut again and suffer the tyres towards the end? We'll see.
DeWill just making his way past rotation on the opening straight again. It looks like Panda and Knight are having a decent time. T. Griffin Bakayoglu. What's happened to Pyro? Pyro span in the second sector, and he just drops like a stone down the order. Didn't see how he did, but we've obviously mentioned on 2 or 3 occasions that he didn't look quite steady in that setup, and yeah, unfortunately he's run into a bit of bother, and he looks like he's just all over the place. The tyres must be boiling. We're still on board with Pyro, and it's bad. He's obviously lost all of the. He's obviously got a load of heat in his tyres. He's sliding all over. What's that? What's going on?
So this happened to Isaac Kush. He's lost all of his swing. I'm not quite sure if Pyro collected Isaac Kush because they were both close together. So unfortunately, there Isaac Kush has lost all of his wing, and I will take a pit stop unfortunately for him in the Haas.
He hasn't had the most brilliant start to this either, has he? Unfortunate.
Oh no, man! I wish. Hopefully he can find his rhythm again and find his form, because he is a very quick driver. Just struggling here, I think, at this game, probably particularly. But back to the front, Rudy is closing on Nathan, and he's so close right behind him. And let's have a look as we go ball with the 2 Red Bull and the AlphaTauri, and Nathan then will be under massive pressure. Steady well with the pressure with Rudy. Rudy's looking for a second win of the season, but we'll see these 2 battle very shortly, I think, when we make our pit stops, because Rudy doesn't want to go for it immediately. He just wants to sit behind Nathan for a little while before he attacks him later on when they go on the medium compound tyres. And Pyro has retired in the pit lane. He's struggling. He's gone.
Yeah, he was. He was battling well, and I think he was doing as good as he could, but it just wasn't happening, was it? He just seemed to be struggling to maintain control of the car. It might have been a slight setup issue. The other thing as well is that sometimes you can qualify with a little bit more pressure in tyres, and if you don't bring them back down, the last thing you need now with this, the latest patches to have the wrong air in the tyres. If you've got too much PSI, then you're in bother, because unfortunately the tyres heat up that little bit too much, and if you go over 100 degrees, is that sort of the M4 point that you start to lose a bit of grip on it, and it might be something strange like that. Certainly for how much he was losing it, you do get a lot of understeer with that as well. Robbie setting a faster slap.
Yeah, Walter did, and Robbie did. So the game is on between these guys then, and it could be very interesting to see if Walter and Robbie can pounce an attack on these guys. It's frustrating for Walter being in a DRS trade, because watching that DRS trade is so hard, as the guy ahead of you has the same advantage with the DRS then. So he's trying to push Rudy on to try and force him to overtake Nathan so he can get on the back of him as well. So just by this time is Rudy in P2, just setting up Nathan very nicely later in the race, and will take the lead of the race very shortly when he wants to. He's controlling it in P2.
Yeah. He is, yeah, I think he is. I think he's been quite clever at the moment, and just staying in. Obviously, it's not fantastic being in dirty air for too long, because it's so easy to make a mistake, but yeah, there is no margin for error in any of the cars at the front. There's absolutely none at all. I'm just thinking there, is that... Oh, right, yeah, the opening group are just catching up to Super Mug at the moment.
Yeah,
he's looking like he's going to be lapped. Yeah, that's such a bad day for him. It's so unfortunate. I love the fact he's staying out though, just in case there's any safety cars. Anything can change really quickly. But himself, Isaac Kush and AJ all not having the perfect starts. Evans, as we know, got caught up in the original problems as well, but he's caught back up to a big part of the pack. So that's a good thing. As is DeWill in front of him, and Panda, all in bother early doors in the race. Couldn't stay out of the original trouble, and playing catch up.
Same as Bakayoglu as well. He's in P8. He's currently on the back of the Griff. Still, those medium compound tyres are looking in good shape and trying to put pressure on the Red Bull ahead of him.
Rotation and Knight just went side by side a second ago into turn 1 and turn 2. Knight won that one. I think Rotation just didn't have the right angle, but Rotation's going to have a go this time. Gets on the inside of the sweeping right-hander, and he sticks to the corner really well, gets a better exit, and I think he's going to get that done. They're still side by side though, so it's... Knight's not going to give him the luxury. He goes on the inside and breaks a little bit late. For me, Knight, he does break ever so slightly late and goes into Rotation. I don't know if any of them got any damage there.
Yeah, Knight was not going to give up that position at all, and unfortunately slammed to the side of Rotation by breaking a little bit too late. But hopefully he escapes with no damage, like you said. But it's getting so close between the top three there. Walters definitely want to make a move on Rudy's right at the back of the Dutchman, and the Dutchman of Rudy putting pressure on Nathan as well. But I wonder, is he going to apply the ERS then? He's dropped Robbie a little bit, but he's still in DRS range to claw himself back in this fight. He's currently under pressure from P, so Robbie's going to watch out for Pease. Dropped away a little bit as Walter starts to pick up the pace ahead of Rudy. And as we head down to Tier 1 yet again for lap 11, no moves being made. It's just a patient waiting game at the start of this race, and it will all unfold once we get on those medium compound tyres. The question is though, later on in lap 16 possibly, or lap 17, who will pull the trigger first to do the undercut?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be, isn't it? It'll be follow the leader as well, I would imagine. As soon as one dives in, I think they'll all dive in and just try and take the gamble. I don't know whether or not anyone's going to try and under or overcut even. Backy Yogurt's obviously the one that we're going to be keeping an eye on in P8 currently, because he's on the mediums, whereas everyone else is on the hards. So I wonder how many laps on the mediums he feels like he can do and keep pace alongside the other drivers before they start falling off and he jumps on the hards.
It's a shame what happened to Jokum there, Backy Yogurt. If none of that chaos started at the Grand Prix, he started at P4 on the mediums, like you said, and looking to gain as many positions. If that didn't happen, I wonder what would happen at this phase of the race. If Jokum, we see a big slide there for Robbie as we head into turn 14 there, but saves the car and lives to fight on another day. Then he's just constantly putting pressure on Walter and trying to stay ahead of Pease, and see with P6 there dropping 5.1 so further back, but Walter right behind Rudy then. And I don't think he'll make a move because they both got DRS then as we head down into turn 1 yet again. Rudy can't afford to stay behind Nathan too long because he knows Walter will get impatient and will try and overtake him for P2. So Rudy going to make sure to keep Walter behind and fight Nathan at the right times.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic quality of racing. These have just followed on and followed on and followed on right from the start. Seb obviously is a little bit further behind, but also having a good race. But he's just found himself the AlphaTauri on his own at the moment, with T-Griff a couple of seconds behind him plus.
A quiet race is needed for CE because he did have the best of races back at the British GP, so P6 I think could be happy with that. We're just controlling the pace like you said, and his teammate to Griff his esports teammate to Griff behind him as well, and he's going to be under pressure from Backy Yogurt, but his tyres should be better to Griff's compared to Backy Yokum's.
It's that transition phase, isn't it? We're getting close to it. I think around this time you're going to probably see the hards start to become the quicker tyre again. Not too far. I think with his quality he'll be able to stay inside the slipstream maybe of T-Griff, if he manages to keep catching him as he is. And if he can tuck in behind, then he might get that extra few tenths for a lap or two extra. But yeah, we'll see when he dives in for those hards.
Someone's just commented, does Nathan have damage? I don't think he has, judging by this camera angle. If he does have damage, he might have slight. I don't see how he could have got damage because he was clean at the front as others made mistakes. So it looks like he's okay, escape damage free. Does Nathan?
Yeah. There's not another person called Nathan that we don't know. I don't know, there might be with the real names, but yeah, I don't think he's touched anything.
P10 downwards is having a big scrap for P10 there. 5 cars involved, and rotation is leading them. Knight's leading them. Knight's actually overtaking rotation again up into P10. And you can see the Williams there of Evans getting involved in those mediums trying to fight Panda. So there's a big fight going on from P10 downwards, all in a big DRS train with each other.
Incredible. That is what a class little race that is. And then obviously at the front we have Pease at the back of a conga line as well, with Robbie, Wouter, Rudy, and of course we know Nathan. Shout out to Superbug, by the way. He's actually gone quite a few laps here and managed to maintain the gap between himself and Nathan. But it doesn't spell very good news when they do finally catch up, because unfortunately under blue flag you'd have to probably sit and wait until about 5 cars went past, with them being so close together. So, oh no, he's lost it anyway. Supermug's lost it. He's gone sideways, and that's not going to be good for the race leaders. He's pulled the car back off. Well done him. Well, there you go. There's the 5 gone past him. He needs to get back up to speed, but that's unfortunate. Rotation and Panda now exchanging positions. Panda getting ahead.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to Walter, because he dropped further behind to Rudy, but still in the DRS range. He's now in the clutches of Robbie and Pease, and Pease ever so frustrated being stuck at this DRS train. Being the last in the DRS train is not what you need. You can't get past whatsoever. Rudy is definitely putting the pressure. As he saved up the ERS, so he saved a lot of ERS behind Nathan, using that to his advantage. Not by not overtaking early stage, he could just.
Rotation's gone. Oh yeah, he's gone. He went straight into the wall. I don't know if he lost it or hit the sausage curb on the inside. That will be a safety car, surely. He's just gone face first into the sidewall. And is everyone slowing down now? Is that a virtual or a full safety car? It just says yellow flag for me at the moment.
It's safety car. Look at the black box. It says safety car. Yes, the safety car's out.
Right. Yep. It's out. Wow. I didn't quite catch it. It just seemed like he went straight towards the wall. I don't know what on earth happened there. Whether he'd lost the car or not, it just... I don't know. I'd have to see it back. It didn't even look like he tried to stop the car. It just went flying towards the wall. But if he's lost the back end, that's a very unfortunate, because Rotation and Panda were having a fantastic race in there. There was a few of them that, as well. Was it AJ or Isaac Kush that was also in that little bank of 5? But music to the ears of Super Mug, that's been sitting tight waiting for this moment to happen. And here did you think he'd jump on mediums at this point and try and see them out to the end?
He should do. He's trying to extend the gap as much as possible, because he gets to overtake the safety car as Nathan gets to catch up. So the reason why he didn't pit this lap, because he knows that Nathan has to catch the safety car and he can go past one more time, then make his pit stop afterwards.
Yep, and he can catch the whole field back up when he starts, although he slowed right down for some reason.
Probably a delta for him.
Yeah, might be delta, yeah. We can see there, who was in the pits there just getting their nose changed. I'm sure I've just seen someone get their front wing changed there. Who was that? Was that Panda?
I'm not quite sure who it was, but if Nathan did have full wing damage, then it would have been fixed by now. So that answers Caden's question.
I'm going to guess that Panda's had some wing damage there, because he was really, really close to that pack in the battle, wasn't he? And now all of a sudden he's like 10 seconds back, that would be your nose change, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, I think it was Panda.
So it must have been. I don't know when he got it, but he did. I wonder if he came into contact with Rotation, and that's how Rotation's race ended. I'm not quite sure, but he's got time to catch up the field up anyway, so it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But good news, and Super Mug flies into the pits now to get some fresh kicks on, and of course he'll have another safety lap or two to warm them up.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait.
Of course, and more in the race, of course, before they have to go again. The longer the better for him, to get these to the end.
There we go then. So Isaac Kush then stays out on medium tyres at a 7-lap hold. I don't think he can get them towards the end.
I'm not sure that was the best option, unless you want a track position. But when everyone else has come in, I don't see why you wouldn't, just to gain a few spots at this stage. Such a long race ahead still.
It looked like Rudy was ready to overtake Nathan very shortly, but the safety car has saved Nathan, and he's got to do it all over again then. So we're on the medium compound tyres now for the race leaders, and this is where it'll get interesting. Interestingly, Griff has overtaken Seeb. I think Seeb also had a problem with the pit stops. In fact, I think he might have been double stacking from his teammate Rudy, so that could explain why he's dropped behind Griff.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. And what else are you going to do? That's when all of the cars are so tightly packed together, it was the right time to come in the pits. Unfortunately, it's going to just knock him ever so slightly. But that shows you the margins in Tier 1 as well. That all it takes is something as small as that, and you can literally lose your position on the track, or dock yourself a position on the track, which is testament really to Tier 1 and just how accurate they all are driving. Nathan driving really well, to be honest. You can't knock him. He's managed to keep that lead right from the off. You would have thought that someone would have tried to have a little go at him so far, and of course now the safety cars come out, he's going to have fully RS again, just like the rest of the pack. So all of the work they were trying to do to get past him, it's literally all an even keel again now. Everyone with the same tyres, same heat in them, same. It's a level playing field again. Everyone full energy.
Yeah, as Rudy was waiting to overtake Nathan at the right time. Probably was going to go through one lap or two before he made his pit stop, but safety cars prevented him from doing that. Now he's going to do it again, and there won't be any pit stops involved.
I think the safety car's not going to be coming in, and we're going to have one more because it looks like Supermug still hasn't caught up. He's quite a bit out the back, and I don't know whether or not. Doesn't look like it's coming in. So, yeah, one more.
Yeah,
Supermug will definitely catch up by the time that's round.
Supermug will be taking the most life out of the tyres in comparison to everybody because he's having to push really hard to try and catch back up, but he should be catching up on the next lap. He's not too far away. Is there into the last corner? Yeah, he should not be too far away.
He doesn't need to rush now, to be honest. He can take his time getting around. He doesn't need to push it all. There's loads of time for him to get around now that's gone the extra lap. He was obviously going to be in bother if he didn't catch it by that one, but this one he's very, very comfortably going to catch the pack. He'll be fine. So he can steady on. He doesn't need to push. Although, you know, the argument is if you can get your tyres up to temperature as well, you know, then you've got an advantage on the rest of the pack that are just crawling around because the safety car doesn't go quick enough to allow you to keep any real heat in your tyres.
And also these guys will be saving up fuel as well, who has caught up the safety car, and Supermug will be pushing hard to try and get rid of that fuel as well, so benefits him because he's able to warm those tyres up like you said. There are some guys on the hards such as Bakayoko and Evans. You expect those two to be on the hard compound tyres that they did their medium stint, and this works well for them because those tyres could go towards the end. They might be in a bit of an advantage later on once those mediums tyres start falling off just a little bit, but how big of an advantage would that be under the safety car conditions? But we'll see.
Yeah, just worth a shout. I can see that Ariel turned left. That's your own, isn't it? I can see something. Came into the stewards meeting saying lap one. I won't read it all, but 20 metres in, there was a spin or someone loses it. It might have been Supermug that lost it at the start trying to get up to speed. Potentially. That's just one of the names that's been mentioned, so we won't say that it's definitely him because we don't know that. But yeah, I think Yoga gets involved in that. Bakayoko gets involved in that as well. I think he gets some damage too. So yeah, at the start, it looks like there was a little bit of, I don't think it was argy-bargy and people getting past each other, but just someone that had made a slight error on getting up to speed. So unfortunately, that's all it takes, though. And with the hard tyres, it is difficult to maintain that traction. And it's definitely difficult to maintain pace, even for a lap or so with those hards. It does take a while to get them up to heat. Temperature.
Here we go then for the first race safety car restart. Nathan's got away, but Rudy is tucked in right behind him. The weaving on the straight is not going to help Nathan's straight line speed. And here comes Rudy then. Nathan goes to the right. Look at the Haas behind Walter as Rudy then will take the lead of the Grand Prix. Will Nathan try and outbrake him into turn one? Yes, he will then. Rudy trying to stick around the outside as the inside line goes off the track. And Nathan takes the advantage, but here comes Walter. Goes down the inside and Rudy there's contact. Rudy spun from the back of Robbie. And unfortunately, the front wheel to rear right has not made it well for Robbie, unfortunately, and he spun all the way down into P16 has Rudy, so that's his race potentially over unless there's another safety car. But look at P's takes advantage in P3 now. Robbie's trying to fight back. Can he go around the outside into turn number 5? No, he can't. He goes off the track for good measure as well. Might pick up a warning, but Nathan then maintains the advantage ahead of Rudy and Walter. Wow.
Can you believe that was incredible? Rudy, I think, was on the outside of the corner, and then he went back to the inside of the bend. And I think at that point, with so many cars coming around at a lot of pace, obviously someone has not been able to get on the brakes, or whether or not they've broken just a little bit too late. But they've obviously made contact in the back of him, and he's gone flying. Rudy, unfortunately, in the Alpha. His teammate now Sieb in 6th. The pressure's on him to try and get as many points as possible.
Wow. Now Walter in P2 has a chance to have winning this race as Supermug is fighting with Panda. Oh, Panda spun. I think they both made contact with Supermug because he was off the track as well. So Supermug and Panda have came into bother. Supermug's second chance in this race has already blown it by making contact with Panda as Isa Kush has overtaken Evans for P9. Goes down the inside and he takes P9 away from the Alpine in P10. In fact, that's the Williams, sorry, can't quite tell the difference. But Bakayoko then right behind Griff, fighting hard for P7, goes down the inside and he's on the hard compound. You expect Griff to be quicker than Yoga being on the mediums, but here we go then. Bakayoko goes underneath him. Well, yes, Griff can now break him into the next corner. Bakayoko does go a little bit wide. Does Griff get the exit he needs? No, he can't. Bakayoko has the outside line and he'll take P7 away from Griff then. So Bakayoko on those hards, making places you don't expect on those hards.
Yeah, just looking around the rest of the track as well to see what's going on. Obviously, Supermug's had 3 stops. The rest of the field currently on track have only had the 1. Position changes. Ferg, 15 places up now. He's had a great race so far. He's the biggest jumper, shall we say. Rudy, obviously, the biggest... no, he isn't, actually. Supermug dropped 13 spots to P15. Rudy down 11 to 14, so the pair of them are not having the most idyllic races. But yeah, big jumpers. Pease as well. He's currently got himself a podium spot. No one is to yet have any penalties as well for extended limits or anything like that. So again, some good racing. Is that Cush 12 laps of his mediums now through? The rest of the pack only 5.
Good shout out if that's nobody picking up penalties there. Very easy to try to pick up penalties, but everybody's done a good job not to do so. But yeah, good job for Ferg. He retired and qualified. He did. I don't know if he had a qualified. He couldn't have a qualified ban because he wasn't here the first race last week. Yeah,
no, I'm not sure. I mean, he must have. I don't know. Maybe it was like a no-show. And was that a qualifying ban for a no-show maybe, and putting your name down like saying that you'd attend and not attending? Did that happen? I think that happened, but I don't know if that was a penalty for that. I honestly don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. But what I do know is he's flying around here, and there's plenty of race still to go. I think the people like Rudy as well. He didn't get any damage when he came to the back. So at the end of the day, he's still got time. He's still 13 laps of this race. Obviously, his tyres wouldn't have enjoyed it, and it's a hell of a tough track to get past at the best of times. But when you're stuck in a big train like we are now,
is that Ferg?
Due to the safety car,
and it is. Ferg has spun. No. You just jinxed him.
Oh, we were just complimenting him on his race so far, and he's got it a bit into bother. Look how tightly packed. Oh wow!
Supermug.
What's gone on there? The Supermug, yes. Just bopped him right off the side.
Wait, I think whilst he's taking the lead, he goes side by side. It's turn 1 to Ferrari versus Red Bull, and Nathan stays ahead. So it put massive pressure from Rudy and Walter again, and he maintains that. But look at that, Walter, would he get back at him that turn number 4? We try to go down the inside. Nathan goes a little bit wide. Walter trying to go underneath him there, gets a better exit, but Nathan stays on the outside. It's the inside line for this corner. Walter outbrake him into turn 5. Is he going to stick around the outside? They go side by side. Wheel bagging as well. Here we go then. Off board, Ferrari versus Red Bull, and Walter trying to go around the outside. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. What a move there from Relentless Walter. Look at Pease as well involved in P3. Wait, looking to take advantage, but yes, look at that. Fantastic racing between the 3 there. And look at Nathan looking to go back underneath Walter. Look at Pease as well, desperate to try and get past. And Walter defends from Nathan yet again, going into turn number 10. And Pease trying to get past him as well. Pease from P13 up into P3. If he wins this race, that'll be a mega comeback drive. A good redemption from the Silverstone Grand Prix.
Yeah, Pease and Yoga, of course, 3 and 5 for the McLaren, having a great race, them two together, and they can get some seriously good points on there for the McLaren, of course. Rudy has managed to get to Willin, get past to Willin since we last spoke, so he's now jumped into the points as well in P12. Backy Yoga setting the fastest lap, so he'll get the extra point as it stands with a 1:19.7.
And Nathan has more ERS in comparison to Walter, so he could use that to his advantage as well, but to try and retake the lead of this race. But that was a stunning battle between first and second there. I was on board with Backy Yoga before he made his move on C. Backy Yoga is up into P5, like you said, so McLaren P3 and P5 recovering well after Backy Yoga getting caught up at that first lap incident. And Pease dropping to P30, or started P30 up into P3. So both McLarens had a fantastic race despite the circumstances they were in earlier on.
Oh, Rudy and AJ have just had a little coming together, but Rudy got the job done. He did get past him, but he also meant that AJ went a little bit wider, and it allowed DeWill to get past him too. So DeWill jumps up above AJ. 22 laps in, 11 to go. AJ jumps to 13, DeWill in 12, and Rudy manages to get another spot up. Supermug 3-second time penalty. Now we've seen a few more penalties start to creep in. Ferg, Supermug, and Robbie up there in P4 has got a penalty.
Less chance of a podium before for Robbie with that 3-second time penalty. Gonna hope those guys ahead of him has a 3-second time penalty. We'll have Yoko on the back of his tail soon once those mediums. I don't think they will fade away. I think it was that crossover moment, like you were saying. Those hards were better than mediums later on.
I think Isaac Kush is going to have a bit of a job with 15 laps of the mediums to stay where he is with cars around. You've got to bear in mind that, like, you know, 1 to 12, is it? Yeah, literally 1 to 12 from the leader. It's only 8 seconds separates the first 12 cars. In fact, first 13 cars, there's only 9 seconds that separate the lot of them. So all it takes is one spin and you're going front to back. You know, as we saw with Rudy there before. Such tiny margins for error, and especially with a safety car where all of the cars bunch up, it's so difficult to then pull away or get past other cars. Again, just up there with the quality of the league, the quality of the drivers in this league.
And Robbie, you've got to be careful as well with that 3-second time penalty, because if it's late safety car, oh, peace, oh, he lost the car, the exit of turn number 9, and he drops all the way down into P7 now, or P8, depends if Isa Kush goes down the inside of him. He'll have hot tyres though, will P, so it might be take longer to recover, and Isa Kush then trying to fight him around the outside, but P stays ahead then. That's a massive shame for P, putting big pressure on Nathan and Walter, and Bakke Yoga has a chance of a podium thanks to Robbie's penalty. Wow, what chaos has been so far. That's a shame for Pease there. What could it have been for Pease if he didn't make that mistake? And now he's left Walter to...
sorry, mate, I was going to say Pease has had a little bit of a wobble coming out of that final corner as well. He's obviously opened up the ARS to try and stick in behind T-Griff, but Isaac Kush probably had an opportunity there, if there wasn't other cars on the track, to probably get by him after that little wobble on the final exit. But yeah, it didn't make a difference.
Rudy's trying, he tried to move on Knight, but Knight had DRS at the back of Evans, so that meant Rudy stayed in P11, tried to go down the inside, but wasn't enough room there, unfortunately for him. We'll have another go at Knight for sure. Let's have a go on board with him, shall we? We'll try and go down the inside, not too far away, but he has tried at this corner before on AJ, but not in this time. He's too far back to make that move. We'll have to wait for the DRS yet again, so P's then under massive pressure for Isa Kush, but he's also putting pressure on Griff then ahead of him, looking for a comeback race. Still on for P5 as C4 Gamer is still there in P5, so I wonder how many positions he can gain. But the all battle now for P1 and P2. Robbie, like you said, he's got a 3-second time penalty, so it'd be hard for him to win the race unless those guys become a 3-second time penalty. But Rudy then, optimistic move, goes down the inside of Knight into turn number 10. Oh, yep, that's a spin for Knight, unfortunately for him. But Nathan has dropped outside the 1 second range of DRS, but I think he's just got back in it very momentarily, so that was very close to Nathan. I think he needs to start using more ERS, because he's got more ERS in comparison to Walter, so he can afford to use more.
Just to confirm what I said before, as it was, I've just seen Scotty said in the chat, yes, Danny, Ferg did have a qualifying ban for a first instance no-show, so that's what it was. That's why he came out on the wets, and that's why he just popped round and came back into the pits.
Explains everything then. Thank you, Scotty, and thank you, Daniel, because you were Danny, because you were right.
Yeah, well, that was what made sense in the end to me. Rotation, pyro, reserving your own, of course, not in this this race anymore. And Ferg at the back after his problems. So he after such a great race as well. That's so unfortunate. Only 7 laps to go. He's going to have a lot of bother now to really get into the points. He's got quite a few seconds to make up, best part of 10 seconds to get to anywhere near points. DeWill in P12. AJ manages to climb back up. I think he got back ahead of it, DeWill, did he? At some point, I'm not too sure if he dropped behind or if I'm just getting that wrong. But Evans on the hards, of course.
And so is P10. In P4.
And so is Yogurt, yeah. In P4, Yogurt for the bother he's had. He's done well to get himself back up there. Is he going to have the faster tyre towards the end, is the question.
He should do, but Nathan can't afford to drop behind Robbie, because Robbie, that's a spin for somebody at the final corner. That's an Alfa Romeo. Is that Supermug? And it is Supermug going for a spin.
Is, yeah.
But Nathan's going to be very careful not to drop behind Robbie. He can't afford that, otherwise it'll be Robbie versus Walter. Obviously Robbie's got a 3-second time penalty, so Nathan needs to make sure he keeps ahead of Robbie, and he needs to make sure he's still behind Walter, because if he drops behind Robbie, there's a lot of time. And P's up into P5 then. He has overtaken C4 Gamer, 2.8 behind Yoko, but I don't think, can he get the gap down? The hards might be a little bit better towards the mediums at this stage.
I don't think just yet. With actually, yeah, he come to 11. Yeah, I didn't realise how many laps he'd done. It's probably not a million miles away before he'll start to have a little bit of pace, and see if he can Yogurt took himself in behind Robbie. Of course, at the moment, Yogurt's getting on he's on the podium. He's obviously within that 3 seconds of Robbie. that's why Nathan probably has that, you know, that little bit of a banker, hasn't he? That even if Robbie does get in front of him, he's still P2, but it would eliminate his chances to have that go at Wouter, and obviously gives Robbie the opportunity to try and extend the gap. You know, enough to keep himself on the podium towards the end, but again, that's a big ask for what we've seen so far.
Maybe Nathan's doing the Rudy tactic where he just stays behind for a few laps, regenerates that ERS and power accelerator later on, but like at the start of the race where Wouter was behind Rudy, Wouter's in a position to make a move on Rudy, but this time it's Nathan who's in a position to make a move on the lead, where Robbie wants to get past him as quickly as he can. Fergus picked up a 3-second time penalty, and he's had another spin down at turn number 9. He's in the pit lane, so probably go for the fastest lap. And Rudy up to P9.
Ferg has retired from the race, unfortunately. So yeah, he did get in bother there, and unfortunately he's decided to call it a day. That's devastating for him after such a great race. I think AJ got ahead of Evans in that scenario as well. I'm pretty sure I saw their position swap around the first turn, maybe first 2 or 3 corners. So I wonder whether or not Evans went a little bit deep into one of them potentially. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they swapped positions.
We've got an overtake coming from Rudy, down at turn number 10. He's going to go down the inside of the hash. Yes, he is. Down the inside he goes, and he makes himself up into P8. So good recovery from... Oh, look, Ethan Cush is coming back on him. They're going side by side then. As heads into turn number 13, Rudy has the inside line, has the racing line, and he moves himself up in P9. The next target for him is to grip, and good recovery drive despite him being collected by Robbie down at turn number 4. 3, sorry.
No, I was just going to put in there that Super Mug I've just seen spin again, going up from turn 7 in sector 2. I think I don't know if he touched that sausage curve that you were talking about before on the inside of the uphill right-hander, but he seemed to be just losing the back a little bit, and he's fell out towards the back. He's also pulling in the pits at the moment, which might signify the end of Super Mug's shift, and I think he'll probably retire. Unless he puts the softs on and he wants to finish the race with softs. No, he doesn't. He's retired. So Super Mug has gone again. Would you believe it? A Tier 1 race where we have 6 cars DNF, and you know, 5 cars collected in the open straight before they'd even got to turn 1. Insane race for Tier 1 standards, but they've followed it up with some unbelievably consistent racing right across the field.
I've got quite a lot of what ifs as well. What if Superbug didn't make that mistake, and Giroud... I don't want to assume it's Superbug who made that mistake, because when at the start of the race, I did see him drop down the order. Then he could have collected people in the process like Giroud and etc. But you don't know. Yeah. We don't know until we see.
Nah, of course, yeah. We can see that some things came in, but we can't comment on that just yet until the stewards have had a fair go. Because you're innocent until you're proven guilty at the end of the day. Yogurt's going to go past Robbie. Is he? He gets alongside him, coming up to turn 1. He's going to get he's got the line, and Baki Yogurt gets that done relatively easy. Is this the moment that we were referring to where Yogurt's 14-lap-old hard start to become the quicker tyre? He's gone from 1 second 3 to 9 seconds, and within that second now of Nathan, that is going to be one hell of a fight towards the end. 4 laps to go. He's going to tuck himself in front of those 2 front runners that are going to start after thinking about looking after their tyres. AJ going in front of Isaac Cush, I believe, also while I was chatting away.
Well, Nathan's now going to get a move on. He knows Bakayoko has the better tyre at this stage of the race, and Nathan's got way more ERS in comparison to Wouter, so now he needs to use it, otherwise he'll find Bakayoko at the back of his tail. So what can Nathan do then? Would he stay behind Wouter longer, try and keep Bakayoko in his DRS? It didn't work out for Robbie, because Robbie's in the DRS on Nathan, and Bakayoko made his way through easily, so it could be the same cycle for him. But Bakayoko has a great chance of winning this race. The mediums, the hards, has worked out so far for him. What's happened?
Yogurt, I was just on board with Yogurt, and he just wobbled a little bit there, getting up to speed. It hasn't took any speed off him, and he stuck behind Nathan. But yeah, just he got on the accelerator just a little bit too quick. I think I think he's getting excited at the end of the day. He's just set a fastest lap at 1:19.4. He's setting some serious speed out there. It's going to be interesting. He wants to get it done sooner rather than later, though. He doesn't want to be waiting too late, even with the tyres, because as I say, it's tough to get by. And you don't want to leave it too late to get the job done if he's got the speed on the top 2 of Nathan and Wouter.
The tyre advantage helps Bakayoko towards the end of the British Grand Prix, when his tyres were 2 laps fresher in comparison to Rudy's. Now he's on the better tyre at this stage, hard in comparison to the medium, so he should be quick towards the end of the race now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what I would say about Yoga at the moment. He only had about 5% ERS, and he's now up to like nearly 20. So I think he's probably trying to save some ERS to have that launch. But of course, Nathan's got over half his ERS still left, and Wouter with 28%, which is, you know, let's be honest, it looks like from what I've seen so far, they've only really used it on the opening straight. Rest of the track, I've not seen anyone really open ERS right the way around. To be honest, it just tends to be, you know, after that last corner and just you know, bleed the battery as much as you can.
So what's Nathan's strategy here then? Because he knows Bakayuga is at the back, on the back of him, and he knows he's got a chance of victory with Wouter with the more ERS. So
he'll just do enough. He'll just do enough. I think he'll open an ERS and try and tuck in as close to Wouter as possible, but he's certainly not going to get the corner, but he's in enough slipstream to be way ahead of Yoga doing anything. So Yoga's got a big ask, even with the better tyre. I think Yoga's got a really big ask to get past these two now. They can almost protect themselves. The only way they're going to do it, you know, by having the DRS. But it's more emphasis on Wouter, really, to be able to keep enough ERS to be able to defend on that starting straight. But I think that they've all got the experience to be able to just stay where they are on track. This might be a 1-2-3.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel Collier. Daniel Collier just said Nathan's sector 3 is letting him down. I did notice that previously because he tends to drop away from Wouter in sector 3, then gains obviously with the DRS in sector 1 and 2. So yeah, he needs to sort his sector 3 out, otherwise he'll fall away from Wouter and Bakayuga will be pouncing on him. So I agree with Daniel Collier there. I did watch Nathan's previous sector 3 and he has been struggling in that particular area. If he sorts it out, and he's got 2 laps to try and sort it out, but he's got Bakayuga there close. Oh, that's so close. Even too close for Yoga's liking there. Sliding again.
Yeah, it was the exact same place. It was the exact same place where I commented before that it looked like he lost it. But he knows that there's only 2 laps to go. No. Nathan looks like he lost it a little bit on the second from last corner. And is that going to be the thing that costs him with Wouter? Now, there's no DRS for Nathan, and there is for Yoga. He's going to try and protect the inside, and he's going to do his best, but I think Yoga's going to be well past by the time he gets to the first corner. And he is. Nathan's just going to have to tuck behind. That's unfortunate for Nathan, but we did say that Yoga was going to have the stronger tyre. Isaac Kush and DeWill, looks like DeWill's got past. Oh, Isaac Kush has dropped a couple of positions. Oh, it's just on the opening straight. He's still in the race. He's still in the race, and he's still in the points. Looks like Knight and Panda might be unfortunate. Panda's pulling into the pits, so he's called it a day as well. Unless he's going to stick some softs on and come out for a final lap and try and get the fastest lap. Of course. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. Why not?
1 lap to go. He's got the best tyres out of all of them.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And he knows he is where he is now. But unfortunately, he's outside the points, so I don't know if he will get the fastest lap. Will he? Does that still count if you're outside the point scorers? Because it's only the top 12 that get the points. Last time round, I think you had to be in the top 10 at one point to get the fastest lap as well.
I'm not quite sure, mate.
If he'll get that or not.
Yeah, so referring back to what happened last lap, I think Nathan left it a bit too much and couldn't sustain the pressure from Jokum and therefore took P2. I think he left it a bit too late on Wouter, but we're heading on to the final lap of this race. Who's going to win this race? Will it be Bakayuga or will it be Wouter? The 2 Dutchmen, as Bakayuga has set the fastest lap of the race, but they're both obliterating their ERS and Jokum can't get any closer, but does he have the grip to try and out-drag him or out-corner him? We'll see then. Turn 2.
Just looking at ERS of the top sort of like 3, 4, 5 drivers now, they've all just bled it to death to make sure that they've protected it. Yeah, absolutely everybody. Nobody has got any left. And oh, there's a slight mistake by Sieb in turn 1. It's going to let T-Griff get by him. He looks like he'd lost it a little bit and he had to go straight over turn 2. And he's dropped down to P9.
Keep an eye on Jokum. You'll have better cornering speed in comparison to Wouter. Wouter's going to watch out for turn 10, where Jokum's last possible chance of overtaking them. Wouter needs a really good exit coming out of turn number 9 then, and Jokum looks like he's got, look at that, more cornering speed, and when he get him down to turn number 10, will Bakayuga be brave on the brakes? He's too far back at the moment, no, but is there another chance for Jokum? Can he get better exit with traction on those hard compound tyres to try and get Wouter? I don't think he can. Wouter just needs to keep it nice and clean, make sure he makes no mistakes, doesn't suffer with wheel spin, and Wouter then will take the victory if he keeps it nice and clean in this final sector. I dare say 1 more lap and Jokum would have got him, but oh, look at this, it's so close. I don't think he'll get him though. I don't, he won't get him.
Nah, I don't think he will.
Wouter will come across the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix ahead of Bakayuga. Nathan will finish in P3, Robbie in P4, Pease in P5, good recovery drive from Rudy in P6, P5.
Pease goes to 4 and Rudy goes to P5. Robbie dropped 2 positions at the end there, sorry to interrupt.
is okay. And yeah, I didn't notice that, but Robbie did get that penalty. So yeah, P6. But yeah, that's the race done. Then C dropped to P11. He did make the mistake at the final lap, like you mentioned. And Knight in P13 ahead of ESW Panda with the purple middle set. So he's going for the fastest lap. He should get it because everybody set their fastest laps on the old tyres then. So Panda making his way to the last sector then, using all the ERS, using all the tyre grip and that one lap he has. Coming around the final corner now. Is he going to get the fastest lap of the race using the ERS in the final corner as he makes his way towards the line? What's it going to be? It is the fastest lap of the race he takes.
Wow, good finish, Panda. Well done. He's just stolen the fastest lap of whoever was on it. I think it was Seed that had the fastest before that. Or was it? No, it might be Yogurt actually. I think Yogurt set it within the last few laps of the race. But yeah, what a good race in the end. It sort of had its own little eventful times of the race. It started off, of course, when we were off the line with a few cars getting collected up. We'll know more about that in time. But yeah, 5 cars had a hell of a lot to do right off the off. And then they all sort of levelled themselves out in the middle of the race. And then all it takes is a safety car, and we've got one hell of a race back on our hands right all the way till the end.
What could it have been for Bakayoko if he didn't get collected at the start? What could it have been for Pease if he didn't make that mistake at turn number 9? What could it have been for Rudy if he didn't make that if he did get collected by Robbie? And he did actually overtake Robbie, on penalties, but he won't be happy with that. But still, P5, good points for him. AJ in P7 with Griffin P8, Dual in P9, Evans in P10 for Williams, Sieb in P11, Isa Kush P12, Knight P13, Panda P14, Superbug in P15, Ferg, Rotation, Pyro, Resify and Jaroon. Unfortunately we didn't see him at all in this race. He lasted about 5 seconds off the start and that was him gone.
Yeah, really disappointing. There was a few good drives there. I mean, a few people sort of managed to push themselves up the grid. Of course, to Will in from 16th to P9, 13th to 4th for Peas, 10 to 6 for Robbie. AJ did well to get P7 actually. AJ got into he was inside some great battles. There was a few of them that were all battling down as well. There was the pack at the front, and then there was a pack further back as well down the grid, and they were all absolutely superb. It's just unfortunate that here and there was a couple that had come into contact, and of course it's costly in Tier 1. As we can see, it's very costly if you get into any bother with any other cars or lose a bit of time on the rest of the field. It's pretty hard to get back.
And it's crazy to say this, but the second race of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix, was much better than the first race of the season. Unbelievably, the British GP.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season of seeing that. It looks like there's so many cars that could win any race. So many drivers that could take any race. It really will be anyone's guess. We'll know more after a few more races, of course, as to what that's going to look like for the rest of the season and how the league table starts to shape up. We've got Brazil next week. How's your feelings on Brazil?
I love that track and expect a good battle like this one, so hopefully can repeat the cycle again. And I got reminded of something. Podium interviews. Fine, I'll do them. Right, so it's Walter Bakayoko and yeah, apologies I didn't do podium interviews last race, but yeah, it's been a long time as commentator, so just getting used to things before I ask questions to drivers again. Nathan's here, we're just waiting for Bakayoko and Wata.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Nathan's here, we might as well have a bit chat with him first. So, are you there, Nathan? Oh, that's all right. That's all right. So Nathan is in the chat. We'll give him a second to sort the settings out. There's a couple more to come in.
Right,
tell us when you're ready. Yeah, Nathan. Slight little wobble on the coming around the final few corners, wasn't it? That just with back here on the hards, I think the transition between the mediums and the hards had already gone. I think he had the better tyre then towards the end, and it was just that little bit too difficult to maintain the second spot. But great race by you. You've got to be happy with that, surely, because you've led for so much of it and managed to keep Wouter behind.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was not expecting top 3 let alone pole, to be honest. And yeah, just the start worked out for me. Luckily, well, it's been unfortunate for them. They had the glitch with the cold tyres, so I was able to get a good gap.
Right.
And then just kind of control the pace. I could see that they were all behind me, you know, sat behind me. I knew they had more pace, but in a train you can't really do anything. Like if you get a good exit on the final chicane, you can't do anything. So yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm happy.
We saw in the first place, we did comment and say that we believe that Wouter was potentially trying to just stay in behind you for a period of time and let you sort of bleed your ERS out. But as it happens, you were managing fine to maintain at the front. It was that opening straight, wasn't it, that everyone seemed to just bleed the ERS, make sure that no one got past them, and then I think everyone was confident enough in their own ability to not actually give the chance for anybody to get back past. And Neely commented at the start of the race about a potential black flag. There was about 4 or 5 cars collected in that opening sequence. I don't know if you knew anything about it at the time, Nathan. You probably didn't, because you were away. But
Jacob was saying, "Oh, 4 cars are out. This could be a red flag." And
right.
At the time I was muted, and so I got through the first corners. But I saw on the top right there was only 1 DNF, so I was like, "All right, guys, calm down. It's not a red flag. Let's keep going."
Yeah. We did say
I
that.
heard it was absolute carnage. I'm just thankful that I didn't have the glitch. Obviously, it's very unfortunate for everyone else, but yeah. It could have ruined my race, to be fair.
Fair enough. Indigo, any questions?
On your last lap of the qualifying, how nervous were you?
To be fair, I wasn't nervous because I put in a good lap. The point was at the point 6 at a point. I was really happy with that. I said before the session, if I get point 6, I'll be happy. So I just sent on the final lap and did pay. So I'm happy.
Yeah, 0.5 was a pretty impressive lap, like.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't think it'd be posted. I thought someone would have done a slightly better lap, but it's not.
Yeah, you were 10th up early doors in the lap as well. You just maintained it all the way around. You got it quite early in the lap, that extra 10th to get down to the 0.5, but it was enough.
I think sector 1 I was 800s up or something. I did lose a little bit of time. I honestly can't remember where I did, but I remember losing quite a bit of time somewhere. But yeah, I mean, pole is pole. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think DC said in the chat as well towards the end that you were losing a little bit of time in sector 3, just towards the end of the lap. But I think that was against Wouter, rather than you losing time as such in your own lap.
In the race or
yeah, in the race. Yeah, I think it was just towards the end because basically the whole of the chat were all sort of screaming you're on and trying to wheel you home and try and get you across the line to take it. But obviously it was hard work towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like my tyres were dying, and I just wanted to push a bit harder to catch Wouter because he was rapid in sector 3, like throughout the whole race. So I knew I had to push a little bit more, and I tried it, and then it screwed me over. And, yeah, it cost me at least P2, but it is.
It was a slight backfire, but yeah, you were always going to have your work cut out with back here to keep him behind you because he was on the hards. Just as I say, I think he had the better tyre towards the end. It was always going to be tough.
When I saw him, I think lap 30 or 29, when he was behind me in DRS, I thought, okay, I actually have to get, because I was going to plan on overtaking lap 32, but I had to change my plans. I wanted to do it lap 31 or 30, but Wouter's exits were just too good for me to be able to do that. So
yeah, that was fair. And I think he had about a second and a half or something like that behind you at one point, and then once those mediums were just starting to die off, it closed right up pretty quickly. So yeah, tough. One or two more laps out of them and you'd have been fine.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I mean, I could have maybe kept Peter if I didn't push to try and overtake, but what's the point of racing if you're not going to try for the lead, right? So, it is what it is. GG's.
Absolutely. Right, thanks Nathan. Shall we move on?
Hello, Jakob. Oh, before I move on to Jakob, Nathan, how are you feeling for Brazil?
Awful, mate. I'm probably going to come last or something, I don't know.
Don't think like that.
That's the spirit.
Honestly, it's one of my worst tracks, so don't expect to see me here again.
Back at Yoga.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yo, how's it going, mate?
I'm good.
I thought you'd be joining me alongside the commentary box, but you're racing. Nice to see you on the podium, mate, after the British GP. We're not going to talk about that, but nice recovery drive. What was you expecting from early in the race? Because we saw you drop all the way down to the bottom of the field after the first lap. I don't know what happened, in all honesty, but how did you find that race?
Well, the first lap, super muck, was, went on on the hards and then didn't take into account that the tires were going to be cold. So,
the rest is history. Yeah, we've seen you drop early doors. You opted for the mediums rather than the hards against the rest of the field. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I knew the tires were going to be cold. There was this glitch in the practice sessions the whole night, so I was like, I'll just avoid spinning at the start.
Yeah.
And then someone spins into me.
Sod's law. That's it's unlucky because as soon as then the race got ahead and we were finally underway, of course, everyone was going to be switching to the mediums when you had the hards. But then towards the end, it looked like you had the better tyre and that you very, very nearly. We've just said as well that obviously one more lap and you've won it, haven't you? From what we saw.
Yeah, probably. I was quite happy to get back in P2 after everything. So.
Yeah.
About you can have it.
Probably deserves it, actually. He's had a great race today. Wow, he was pretty solid all the way around.
Solid comeback drive from you. Jakob must have a massive confidence booster headed into the next few races.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well,
Hey, you don't sound fine. I'm not sure you are fine, but I can appreciate why you'd be a bit frustrated of how well you've done in the end, considering the start. Moving on to Brazil, what's your feelings on Brazil?
I have no idea. I haven't even touched the track.
Right.
I have no.
Sweaty week ahead. Fair enough. Good stuff. Have we got? Was Wouter in the chat?
He's too busy celebrating. We ain't got him.
He's covering himself in champagne. Ah, he's there. Oh. He's there. He's just finished. He's just finished covering himself in champagne.
I didn't see him join the party.
Wouter, the main stay point of consistency there, mate. That was one hell of a race. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, very good. My pace towards the end was very good, and I knew I had to overtake Nathan, so that was very important halfway through the race, and that won me the race. So yeah.
Towards the end, actually, between yourself and Nathan, I think Nathan had about 50-60% still left of his ERS, and you were down to about 20 odd, and I think you did quite well to preserve it towards the end, to maintain it, to maintain that gap certainly on the starting straight. But yeah, towards the end, the slightest error from Nathan coming out that final bit, just pushing a bit too much, and it pretty much secured it for you, because then it opened up that extra second.
So I think I saw it happening. I saw it pop up to 1.1, and then I made a mistake myself through the chicane, and it got back to like under a second. And I think he just about got the ERS, but it was like 9/10, so he had to use a lot.
Yeah.
So that equaled it out again.
Tough track that to get overtakes done. I think we saw that in a few different places. I know that there was some of the really fast drivers from last time round that got caught up in little incidents as well. Rudy obviously was one of them, and Bakke obviously in the first. Did you see what happened at the start?
I think I saw it. I think it was Supermog who spun out.
Right.
And then I think he hit Rudy or something, and then Jeroen got caught up, and same thing for Yogurt.
Okay. And were you affected in that or no?
No. I had a pretty good start, and then I got on the outside of Rudy. I had to go off the grass a little bit, and then I broke myself into one, so I really got the position back.
Yes, I think we saw that. You had to take the straight line over and just allow him to go back past. There was was there contact after that, by the way?
No, I didn't go. I stayed on track, but he just got the better line there on me.
Oh, sorry, right. I'm thinking of another incident. Brazil next week. What's your feelings around there?
Very difficult to overtake, so quality is going to be important, but I think it'll be fine.
Not too dissimilar to this week, really.
Yeah, it'll be pretty similar.
Fair enough. Indigo, anything to add?
Just want to say a massive congratulations on the race win, mate, and it's the second podium of the season, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, nice, good start. Superb start, mate. Well done. Right. Are you happy enough, Indigo? Do you want to sign us off?
Yeah, I've been trying to look for the incident, so if you can tag me in that, Nathan, I want to look at it. But yeah, thank you for commentating with me. It's been a pleasure. Nice. Congratulations, Walter, Nathan, and Yogurt for the win and podiums, and see you all next week at Brazil.